Hey, how have you been, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Supergirl. This time we're on Season 4, Episode 13, titled What's So Funny About Truth, Justice, and the American Way. All of the ideals that heroes like Supergirl and Superman and Captain America all stand for. But the last episode was Episode 12, which was Menagerie, and we saw some interesting stuff unfolding in that episode. We saw Nia suiting up as Dreamer, officially, for the first time. And she was badass, just at the very least she was badass. And she kind of, I think, initially she had some trouble stepping into that role and actually stepping into that kind of mindset, having just recently lost her mother to being unable to interpret the dream that she actually had about her mother dying, and facing some harsh stuff back home in Parthis. And then coming back just to all of this as well. So initially she wasn't really so easygoing about it, and she was kind of reluctant and just needed some time to herself. But then in the end, she actually realized, this is her destiny. The mantle has been passed down to her, so she needs to become the next Dreamer, which she did. And then by the end of the episode, she did kind of tell Brainy that she wants she wants him to train her. She wants to actually train alongside him and potentially Supergirl as well. So I'm assuming we will be seeing some of that, like maybe not a full-on training montage, but just some bits and pieces here and there that actually show off more of her skills and maybe unlock more of her powers if she has any. Besides from being able to dream the future, like I think she's good enough with hand-to-hand combat. She took on that snake and Menagerie fairly well, so she can handle herself up close and personal. But yeah, that was Nia, and then we had Lena and James. So they broke up. They broke up after what feels like 2 episodes of just about being back together. That they officially broke it off, and I honestly don't know anymore. Like, when it started off, it seemed like one of those casual office romances. Like, not like they were cheating on someone else with one another, although in Lena's case, it could be argued that she kind of was indirectly, but in any case, it's like it just seemed like it didn't seem like an organic enough setup. And then as time went on, it just seemed like that these guys aren't fully right for each other, but the writers are just trying to milk whatever they can out of this relationship, and then they broke up due to personal differences and stuff like that, and then tensions got in the way of them actually ever getting back together, and then they did get back together, and then in the end it's just like, yeah, this was never going to work out. Like Lena said it herself, this was always inevitable, it was never going to work out. So yeah, so she is back to being single, much to the happiness of the Supercore family, one that I am very much happily a part of. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're going to fit. I mean, I feel like, obviously, with shows like this, when it comes to breakups, they usually give the character time to actually settle back into themselves before they throw themselves back out into the love pool again. But I don't know if that's going to be happening with this anytime soon, or what's going to happen, because I'm just waiting here for my Supercore confirmation. But again, you can't rush these things. They have to be well built up, which for Lena and Kara, it can be argued it has been, but it's all up to the writers, isn't it? It's all up to the writers. But yeah, so they broke up, and we saw some great stuff with Alex going on. Her just kind of like venting out about her own personal life struggles, and she's now the she's been the official director of the DEO for quite some time now. But with Haley on her case as well, it's just wait, what's happened with Haley? I don't know. I can't remember what happened with her. She's gone, right? In some sense, I think. Well, is she still around? I think she's still around. But yeah, I don't know if the thing for Kara's name, the hunt for Kara's name is still going on. I think it might be, but they did wipe Alex's mind, so it can't be the truth can't be obtained out of her anymore. But she did express how her personal life struggles have gotten to her so much. Like her like at least 80 to 90% of her life has always been dedicated to making sure that Kara is safe and that Kara is okay. And there have been few times when she's actually had the opportunity to actually focus on herself and figure out what she wants, and the one time the one time she did have time, Maggie came along and things went great, all up until they broke up due to, again, personal kind of differences. And since then, it's just like she's just been trying to find her own way outside of that. And, you know, with Maggie, that happened for the most part straight after Alex came out. So it was her first time in like her own true relationship, like someone that she actually could be happy with and someone that she could actually be herself with. And then when it didn't work out, it took a toll on her, and, you know, stuff has it, like she hasn't really tried to find anyone else properly since then. She's been on dates. She said herself she's been on dates, but, you know, she's never really found someone like Maggie, someone that she's actually looking to be with properly. So yeah. But we did get some good stuff with Alex, so I'm hoping we can only see that aiding in her development from here on out and seeing where it brings her. But it is hard watching her and not knowing, watching her and knowing that she doesn't actually know that Kara and Supergirl are one and the same person, because she does have some personal kind of, not personal beef, but she does have some, you know, some issues with Supergirl that she feels happy to divulge with Kara, not knowing the after effect on the latter. So yeah, but we will see what happens to both parties in this episode and to everyone else in this episode as well. So yeah, that was episode 12, but this is now episode 13. So what's so funny about truth, justice, and the American way? Let's find out.
Oh my god, lunch, I totally forgot. Bad, Kara is so bad.
Okay, you're embarrassing. Let's go.
Hey, we still on for the research trip?
She forgot everything, didn't she? She forgot all the things.
There's all the Lockwood stuff that I totally forgot. We have an appointment with the city auditor. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
You can't let Lockwood invade your mind like this, Kara. It's dangerous.
I'll call you later. The key is subtlety. Case in point.
Hi, Brainy.
It's Barney.
Don't hassle me, I'm Luke.
Yes, Barney. Thought it best we keep a low profile, considering where we're going.
I'm guessing low profile means something completely different where you're from. Especially when you're from.
Welcome to the Fortress of Solitude.
Oh, bring her to the fortress. Well, where else but the fortress?
Hello, Kleenex.
It's Calyx. Coral.
Do you have to dust the cosmic anvil or something?
Is there beef between Brainy and Calyx?
Okay.
What you think of the hair? Look, you lost someone.
Oh, he's dyed it now,
I know
purple.
how that feels.
It's from the comics, right?
Let me help you. Take you, for instance. If it weren't for your bloody promise, I believe you could solve all the world's problems.
Oh shit, it's the guy from the Sidewalk who killed the prison guard. Oh, you dick! You lightning shot him? You tased him? I don't know, you did something to him. Oh shit. Okay, he's not. Oh. I was about to say, he isn't properly killing anyone, but he did stab some people. He took him out with a hat. He took him out with a fucking hat.
To be adaptive too.
She's got it. Oh, she's got it. She's got it. For the most part.
We could create a paradox. Destroy the very
Ick.
fabric
Of space-time. Where have I heard that before?
I already exist.
Well, this used to be my lab. I'm glad it's in good hands.
No, it's just for a couple of weeks. Unless you want to change that combat suit for a white coat.
May I?
I've never really seen her doing science work, like only back in season 1, and then season 2 onwards she was out in the field more.
Reducing mitophagy and increasing mitochondrial efficiency at the same time. That would give muscle cells the potential to...
Alex, it's not personal. I promise.
Well, she's not trying to hurt anyone with this. She's doing the exact polar opposite.
Supergirl's like a folktale. In theory, comforting.
And Menagerie just got knighted.
In reality, this is the era of the elite.
The elite. Damn, okay.
I want you to deputize the Children of Liberty.
What?
Turn them into an official workforce.
Well, if you choose to join the fight to bring the elite to justice, I'm sure your father would understand.
Yeah.
Even Marin joined the fight against
You tried the peaceful route, and it hasn't been working out for you so far.
Manchester's baiting me.
Well, Supergirl said anything I need, didn't she?
Those were her orders.
Mm-hmm.
Then tell me about Naltor.
General, move the Claymore launch up to tomorrow night. And double the guard at Devil's Tower.
Yeah, that's really gonna help, huh? The sooner you launch, the sooner the elite knows to attack. And the more I was there, of course.
It was a...
Astral projection?
No bad astral projection.
Oh! Astral projection turned projectile?
Behind my back. You took advantage of that simpleton Kellex.
You're still outnumbered.
Count again.
Or not?
You have the elite. I have super friends.
Yeah, you do?
Right.
Okay, here we go. Only one of you is bulletproof, remember that. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. So he really is a magician, just pulls random shit out of his hat. 1 minute it's a sword, next minute it's a knife, 1 minute it's an axe.
Rad.
Super rad.
I built the gloves to harness raw dream energy, so yes.
Oh.
Rad.
So she's got like repulsor thingies, like Iron Man's lasers. Oh shit. Manchester, stop it. Yeah, that's it. Scissor kick him. Yeah.
Director Danvers.
I did what I thought was right.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Oh shit. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Kick, punch, stab, dream blast. Yeah. Oh crap. Whoa!
Where's my ring?
Sleight of hand, fam, like me, you see.
Oh, you.
Just a distraction.
Oh, you dick! You stole Brainy's ring!
Where's the Morai?
There's a reason it's called playing God.
Oh, he's turning the satellites on them.
Fun.
Fly.
You're damn right it's fun. Go get him, Supergirl. Oh, a new suit! Oh, shit! Yeah! Stop up and away, Kara.
Wanna make me the happiest man on earth.
No! You don't touch Brainy's ring! No! You can do this all day, Manchester.
Firing in 7.
So this is an entirely new suit then, not just used to filter kryptonite. Well, no longer needs to filter kryptonite. Okay. So it was just that one shot. It was just that one shot she needed to revert. Nope, just taking out the whole satellite. Okay, I figured. I damn well figured, yeah. The CGI in this sequence is pretty damn good.
It's not about how your ring was stolen, Brainy. It's about how we're gonna get it back.
Thank you, Neonol.
Mm-hmm.
How's your head?
Much wisdom from the newborn superhero.
No, you did it. Because you wanted to.
I assure you, sir. There was no other way.
Well, she didn't want to, but she had to. She had no other choice. You gave her no other choice.
I didn't know.
Sorry?
You didn't know?
The president acted against protocol. I was never informed.
Okay, that's weird. Because usually when it's human versus aliens, she's all on the know-how.
That results
Huh.
2% increase.
I thought you were the government.
No, I'm your friend. And right now I have a hell of a lot more faith in you than I do in them. So...
Don't tell me they're gonna pull a Hail Hydra. Do not pull a Hail Hydra on me. I can't take that. I wouldn't be able to take that.
I may not be able to deputize all of your children of liberty, but I can deputize one. How would you like to be my next director of alien affairs?
No! No! No, 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 no. Nada. Niet. No, no, no. No. This will not work out.
Like you. A man who knows what he is.
No, I do not like this one bit.
Asset to this administration. How do you...
Brainy told me. We get brunch.
Cute.
You had brunch with Brainy?
Yeah. My instincts were all over the place.
Brainy
I
I'm not even gonna bother.
Someone strong and powerful.
Whoa! Damn, Benjamin! Well, that's action right there, huh?
Is anyone else entertaining a change in leadership?
Ah, no one else is looking to get their head bashed in.
Let's proceed.
Oh, good God. So that's the official end of that episode. Okay. Okay, wow, so plenty of stuff happening in that episode. So the birth of the Elite. The new vigilante supergroup that was formed, consisting of Manchester Black, I take it is the leader, his fellow British compadre known as Hat, Menagerie, and Morai. I think probably the last surviving Morai, or one of the ones left. I think it is probably disclaimed to say that I haven't actually watched Supergirl in a long while, so plenty of episodes have come out since my unintentional and uncontrollable hiatus from the show. So there were details that I saw in the preview for this episode that I forgot had actually happened. But yeah, so they've been formed and they are fighting alien discrimination with violence. Needless to say, that does not end well, never has, never will. You know, you can't fight fire with fire. As many instances as there are that might work, that is not the general consensus to follow. That is not the general kind of plan, like, oh, if you're being attacked, or if you see attacking happening, you attack back with more attacking. That's not how it works. But I feel like, you know, with them, it's like, it definitely, like, I think the most obvious parallel I saw with this was, you know, obviously the super family being the kind of more Daredevil-ish stance. Like it's a parallel compared to like the super family versus the Elite, being Daredevil versus the Punisher. Obviously Daredevil being the one that, you know, like, fight crime but don't be too violent about doing it. Don't be violent to the point where you actually kill them and you give them a taste of their own murderous medicine. Whereas the Elite are more like the Punisher, being like, you know, if you knock them down, make sure they stay down, like, permanently. Actually, you know, they kill your people, you kill their people. And obviously the Punisher had the whole kind of you know, iconic kind of line of, you know, like, I hit them, like, you hit them and they get back up, but I hit them and they stay down. Like, that's very much I feel like that's very much the approach that the Elite are going for in this. You know, like they will fight racists and fascists and overall kind of oppressors with the very tactics and the very kind of violence that they use to tear down minorities and whatnot. And obviously with Kara, like, the one kind of mindset and kind of skill set that we've seen her approaching various enemies and situations is always to, you know, like, take them down but don't take them out. So, you know, incapacitate them, or, like, you know just throw them in throw them in a cell at the end of the day, like whatever cell is best suited for them, and then leave them there to, you know, stew away and stuff like that. But don't actually be the ones killing them, like, you know, you're better than that, we're better than that, you know, don't stoop down to their level. Whereas with Manchester, it's like, you know, like they like killing, you know, innocent people so much, so we'll give them some of their own treatment right back. We'll kill them twice as hard. And it's an interesting kind of parallel to see, and it's, you know, I think it's a nice dynamic to see between them as well, and especially between Manchester and Jean. I feel like, you know, like Jean, this entire season, he's been struggling with that whole kind of mentality of actually going for like a more peaceful approach with as many things as he can, and, you know, like honoring his father's memory with that peaceful approach and trying to bring out the good in people and trying to make them see the good in everything that they do and the good in the world. And Manchester, he is not someone who actually sees much good left in the world. Like, losing Fiona was the last straw for him. You know, he said he was pretty much like this before he met Fiona, but Fiona was his anchor. She was the one who actually kept him like, you know, like kept him sane and kept him stable and showed him that there is a better way. But then her being killed for the way that she is and for the way that she believed was, again, it was the last straw for him. So that's where he really went off the rails, and, you know, he kept trying to tell Jean, you know, like, there's no hope left for me, this is who I am, and this is how I am, you can't change that, nobody else can change that. But then Jean is still, he's trying to find that peace in him, he's trying to find that inner peace and the kind of mental energy to kind of summon a more kind of good-willed side of him. And, you know, I think that's actually, I think, something that, like, they've kind of been playing on each other with. Like, you know, like, Jean is trying to bring out the good in him, but Manchester is trying to bring out the bad in Jean. Like, he, like you know, like, I think it's why, like, pretty much everyone else, like, he knows he can't kill Supergirl unless he has kryptonite or something, and he doesn't want to kill Supergirl, he doesn't want to kill Jean, but with Jean, obviously, there's been more history between them since the start of the season, and, you know, they've worked together, and, like, I think he knows that, like, you know, he knows that Jean has been where he is, he has gone to the lengths of actually fighting back, maybe not to the point of killing someone, but he has fought back, with his fists and feet and his powers and everything. He has actually been in that kind of, you know, up close and personal kind of situation where he's had to opt for something a little more kind of efficient and a little more you know, permanent. Well, not permanent, but a little more effective than peace, if you will. So he knows Jean's been there, and he's trying to bring that side back out of Jean. You know, so like him, like, bringing out that empathy within him and bringing out that pain, and, like, you know, like, not only making him feel what, like, Manchester feels, but also kind of, like, reminding him that pain is there for him to act on it and for him to take that pain away in the best possible way, and, like, that's not approaching it with peace. So yeah, but this is the new team, so the Elite. So they are, like, I mean, they are kind of going with I feel like they are going for, like, an antagonistic kind of path with them, like, showing, like, they're not necessarily the bad guys, they're just they're, like, decent guys doing the bad thing, or at least doing the wrong thing, like, doing the good thing the wrong way, if anything. Like they are killing, but it's like they're not killing out of, like, you know, they're killing out of personal kind of vengeance and whatnot, like injustice, and, you know, like, they're not trying to kill just because they enjoy it. I mean, they do enjoy they enjoy killing the bad people, but they're not. They're killing as a way to protect the innocents, because they know, like, the way that Supergirl and company do all of this stuff, that doesn't work forever, that doesn't last, and it doesn't send the right message. So the message they send, they believe, is more effective. So I feel like that's the kind of antagonistic path where we're going to see them being taken on. So yeah, the Elite led by Manchester Black. It's good to see the returning characters as well, like Menagerie and Morai, and Hat, a new one. So literally pretty much a magician, like just a dude who's like good with hand to hand, and he can disappear in just at random, just disappear into like a red mist and pull stuff out of his hat. And yeah, so he pulled like a knife when he killed the prison guard. He pulled out, I think, a gun out of his hat when he was when he was in the visitor's room, and he pulled out a sword. Then he pulled out an axe, and then he tricked Brainy by shoving his hand into the hat, and then he sucked off the Legion ring from his finger, and he gave that to Manchester. So Brainy's Legion ring, that's not gone. I don't think they still have it. I don't think they can destroy it because it's made out of nth metal. It's like one of the strongest. It's the strongest substance they have, like the strongest metal they have on Earth, I think. Or at least in this show, it's the strongest metal they have. So they can't very easily destroy it. But I don't really think they want to either because it's useful. So the only thing they have to worry about is Brainy getting it back, which he will. So full faith and confidence there. What else? So Kellex and Brainy, and just that whole fortress thing overall, just Nia training in the fortress and Kellex and Brainy. So I didn't think Kellex and Brainy would have any beef. I mean, I guess it makes sense, and it also kind of and it does also kind of prove kind of comedically fortuitous, if you will. But yeah, I mean, I figured they might on some level be like kind of willing willing allies, if anything. I mean, chances are they are. Like if they were like rushed into the field of battle, they would work together to do whatever. But yeah, I think that opening line from Brainy as well, like do you have some kind of cosmic anvil to go away in dust, and and Kellex calling Curl. I keep forgetting Brainy and Brainiac 5 isn't his actual name. Like that's his Legion name, but his name is actually Curl Dox. Keep forgetting that. Yeah, but he kept on. He called Curl like a pompous fool or something along those lines. So they're not too fond of each other. I think for me the most like the safest assumption to make is that it's because they're they're both kind of high intellect beings, but that then often puts them at odds with each other because they're both high intellect beings. They also kind of disagree with each other. They're always trying to outdo one another, and it becomes a competition for them. So I feel like that's the safest assumption to make. But I also think maybe something happened in the past, like Brainy said one thing and he said, oh, we like maybe they had a mission and Brainy said they should do it one way, and then Kellex said they should do it another, and only one of them got it right, and they've been kind of bickering on about it ever since or something. But yeah, they're not too fond of each other, so there's that. But it was still fun to see that banter between them. But Nia in the fortress. Training in the fortress, very fun to see. I think she's good with hand to hand. She's great with hand to hand combat. She's great with that. Even blindfolded and like using her dream power to kind of predict what Brainy's moves would be. But for 9 out of 10, she actually did manage to predict them on point, and then she just took that one blow to the chest, and then got knocked off her feet. But besides from that, I think she was right. I mean, on the one hand, I do get it. I think, Brainy hiding her future from her, on the one hand, I do get it, in the sense that she might, she could have accidentally unlocked something about her future that she's not meant to know. Maybe something that happens to her, or something that happens to her descendants because of her. That kind of stuff, spoilers from the future, that kind of stuff, she could have unlocked it. But on the other hand, I feel like if she has these resources available to hand to help her, use her powers a little more, she should use it. She has these powers. She shouldn't have to just obviously the baby steps thing. Obviously, learn one thing at a time. But if she has resources to help her learn these things, a little bit more efficiently or a little bit faster, then why not? Let her at them. And I think I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it because he is nothing like Yonrog from Captain Marvel. Brainy is nothing like Yonrog. Okay, Yonrog is a manipulative shitbag. But Brainy is the sweetest, smartest, beautiful blue boy out there, right? But it did kind of remind me of when Yonrog kept on telling Carol to not use her photon blast and to actually focus on smaller stuff and build up from there. Well, he wasn't even letting her build up. He just told her not to use her full potential. But it kind of reminded me of that when Brainy kept on warning her not to not delve into her future and to not to not use those resources. But he's nothing like Yonrog. He's nothing like Yonrog. But in the end, she did kind of use Kellex and Brain and Curl's beef between each other to try to actually delve into her future a little bit more. And I don't think she found anything too spoilery or too kind of mind-blowing or anything like that, but she did unlock more of her powers. I think she unlocked astral projection, so she was actually doing it for like a little bit. She actually was managing for a little bit, and then all of a sudden it backfired and she fired some kind of like blue laser out of her hands and went flying back. So now she does have a new addition to her suit, like these blasters on her glove or whatever, and you know, Brainy said that it allows her to harness raw dream energy or something. So she can like fire like dream it reminds me of Iron Man's like repulsor blast on his own gauntlets. So she can fire like dream blasts from her hands and stuff. So that's again unlocking more of her stuff. That is very, very cool to see. And I can't wait to see what more she actually gains. But yeah, and I think that the whole dynamic between Brainy and Nia this episode has been great to watch, you know, and you know, like despite that stuff happening, he does want to see her get better, and he does want to see her become the dreamer that he knows from the future, and like, you know, like be like the, you know, I think, and even learning with all of this, it could potentially help towards her descendant in the future becoming the dreamer that she is as well. So yeah, and I think, I don't know how much of this will actually, like, I mean, obviously, I think, assuming she's still alive when her descendant is born, or like maybe everything, like maybe in the future it's kind of like a Flash museum, like everything, like a super museum or a Kryptonian museum or something. It's like a museum, like holding all information about the heroes of this time, like Supergirl, Martian Manhunter, Alex and Dreamer and everything like that, like holding all that information together. So like, you know, the better she becomes, the more information her descendant has on her to actually become the Dreamer that she's supposed to be as well. So again, that's really cool to see. It is so fucking hot in here. It's like, well, I mean, it's summertime anyway. It's like 18, 19 outside, so I need to get ready to just be sweating like a mad person when I go outside. But yeah, that it was cool to see their dynamic together overall. And even by the end of the episode, she was, you know, telling them, you know, we will work together and we will find your ring and we will get it back. So, you know, don't worry. So very much liking the path that they're headed towards, and yeah, just looking forward to seeing more of the super friends, the super family working together. Super friends is the Avengers, but yeah, the super family working together. Looking forward to seeing more of that. Speaking of working together, we had Lena and Alex working together. Well, by the end of it anyway. But yeah, I think that the bit of them working in the beginning, like, you know, Lena moving into Alex's lab and like kind of doing her own thing there, I think it's good to see. I think it's good to see Alex like actually showing off what she knows about her, like her science background, because I think she does have like a fairly extensive science background. I think she has worked in like extraterrestrial and human like biology and biochemistry and stuff like that. So she is intelligent. Like, it goes without saying, she's intelligent, but she has worked in the field, like in numerous fields of science before. So she's not new to any of that stuff. But I think for me, like, my memory is not always the best, I'll admit that much, but I think my strongest memory of her doing like actual science work on the show with the DEO, like, only stretches as far back as like season 1. Like, I think season 2 onwards, we did see her going like working more and more on the field, and like, you know, like forensics, that still counts. Like she did do some forensic work, but you know, like season 1 was where her science, like her showing off her like her science knowledge actually was the strongest, and she shined brightest, if that's the right kind of past tense. But season 2 onwards didn't really see much of it, and season 3 was when she kind of like got higher up in the ranks of the DEO, and then she eventually became director. And since then she's been running more and more. So I think as she does climb higher up the ranks, like there are other teams at the DEO who are actually just as capable of actually like working in the labs and analyzing what they find and doing all of that stuff. So it's like she like being director, she doesn't have the time to actually do like the kind of like not smaller tasks, but the kind of like, you know, I can't think of a word other than smaller, but saying smaller just really like feels like diminishing to it, because it's not a small task. It's just as important. It helps them finish the work at the end of the day, but doing those tasks, it takes up more of her time than it should, and it takes up, like, you know, she's the director, so she has to be running everything else, and she can't handle everything at once. We saw how that went a few episodes back, and it didn't go well for her, and it was especially taxing on her mental health. So now she just has to focus on running stuff and making sure to stay in Haley's good books as well. But seeing her in that conversation with Lena, actually looking through the microscope, seeing what she was doing, like, that was very fun to see. It was good to see her back in, like, you know, not so much of a natural habitat, but just like another area that we know she works very well in, and it's what attracted her to the DEO in the first place. I think she was like working very, very well in like biochemistry and stuff like that, like those kinds of fields. Like it was what, like, her past in that, like, you know, I think we saw a flashback of when Jean actually recruited her to work at the DEO, and like she was like kind of like a party animal and going out drinking and stuff like that. So, you know, it's good to see her back with this, and now, you know, actually understanding what Lena is doing, like changing the human kind of, changing the human body in that way, and in it, she did say initially it was just to cure cancer and potentially all known human illnesses, and maybe even make humans immune to any that they haven't discovered yet, or any that haven't been created yet. But then a side effect would be humans may well end up getting abilities that make them super, like that give them like enhanced abilities. And so she was working with the government, and I think she did say it's not something that she's gonna freely give to the government, like as in to create super soldiers and whatnot. Like it's not going to be a product or anything that they can just freely use and she can just batch produce or whatever, but she is going to research it to see what more she can do with this, and, you know, if she can get it to its base kind of working level. But yeah, so I think she is kind of working more in a sense that actually she's working on it more in a sense of actually ensuring it can help people before using it to, you know, before weaponizing it and like using it to help like America win wars and all that jazz. But Alex does have an understanding, especially after, as she said, after their conversation at Thanksgiving, she does now know what it's actually going to be used for and how it's going to help people. So now, after knowing that not even Haley knew about the Operation Claymore stuff, she knows that, okay, so the government's actually doing some shady stuff behind people's backs, and, you know, like, once this stuff goes up in the air, chances are, if we don't know about it beforehand, then there may not be any bringing it down. So she knows that, you know, whatever Lena's doing as well, if that ends up in the government's hands, it could be like an Operation Claymore 2.0. And, you know, like, and that was originally how Haley approached Lena about the project as well. Like, they want to use her Harronelle kind of her work on the Harronelle to actually create super soldiers and create an army that could help withstand the might and the strength of its alien adversary. So whether that means that they become a line of defense, or if they actually, you know, at some point in the future, should they get to figure out space travel as well, maybe they just march on other planets and start taking them down. Like, knowing them, it's like knowing the human race, it's just unpredictable. You don't know what the governments of the world could actually figure out next. Like all it takes is one person with the right bad idea to turn, like, potentially the entire solar system into a war zone or something along those lines. So, you know, I think it is right that Alex Alex agreed to help her off the books, like turning off the camera and saying, like, you know what, I will help you, but not on a government level, on a closer, more personal, like, friendly level, because I don't trust what the government's doing now. But yeah, Alex and Lena working together as friends. That's really fun to see. I think we don't get much Alex and Lena content. We really don't. I think, as much as I love Supergirl, like, you know, and as much as I love, like, the idea of Kara and Lena actually, you know, being together and doing, like, work together and stuff like that, I think it's good to see her interacting with people outside of it, because, like, the only other person we've seen her with has just been full of drama, and that's been James. So seeing her and Alex working together on even, like, a small kind of professional level. That's going to be fun to see. So I want more Alex and Lena content. I want that. But she did also make a new nano suit for Kara. Like when Alex threw that little hexagon or something like that little super symbol at Kara's chest and crafted her a whole new nano suit. That was cool. That was a good old suit up. And it reminded me of Iron Man's suit up in Infinity War, like when he just presses the buttons on his thing and it just morphs all over him and the helmet comes up lost. That was cool. And it's still got the HUD and everything, and she can still work even better with it now. And it serves as body armor as well, I think, just a little bit. She's got the HUD and everything. So I don't remember her actually shooting anything from it. So I don't know if she can actually. I don't know, besides from super strength, if she can actually use anything else. The laser vision, I don't know. Maybe that might work, but I'm not sure yet. But this one, I think it's a much better version, because I think the last one, that was designed, I think, from what I remember, that was designed just to filter kryptonite out of the suit and to stop kryptonite from getting into the suit as well, because the air was filled with it. And all the power was being diverted to the filtration system. So anytime it took too much damage, which we saw, or anytime she tried to use it for something else, the power would be drained and, the kryptonite would start getting into the suit and into her system. But this one, no need to worry about kryptonite anymore. I'm hoping it might have some kryptonite resistance, if at all. But I think, for the most part, it is just to help her, like, fly higher and further and faster, like Danvers. But besides from that, it is just to be more efficient with her flight and maybe her combat as well. But also, like, she had to actually properly go out into space. So, I don't know if we've actually seen Kara properly going out into space without anything else, like just as Supergirl, because I think she can go, from what I'm aware of. She can go, but I don't think I think maybe once or twice we've seen it happen. But with this one, she's going up to destroy a satellite. So yeah, but I don't know. Maybe she could, maybe she couldn't, or maybe it was just an excuse to show off the new suit. But either way, it looks awesome. It looks great, and she looks great in it. So it's justified. But yeah, so that, and that. So Operation Claymore. That was a very, very dodgy thing. It reminds me, right, of it reminds me of honestly, it reminds me of Project Insight from Cap 2 Winter Soldier. It reminds me of what that was, and for those of you who have or have not seen it, just a quick reminder. As much as I can remember from it, it was what Zola had actually initially designed whilst sneakily recreating Hydra from within S.H.I.E.L.D., and he did program it to take out any of Hydra's enemies in the future. And how that worked was they evaluated their past and like their past actions and how they lived, to predict their future, and evaluated whether or not they'd actually be a threat to Hydra. So without a doubt, all of the Avengers were threats, but there were other ones. There was a name drop for Stephen Strange and stuff. But yeah, but it reminds me of how Project Insight worked. But with this one, it's like something that only the president so far had actually known about. Like that information hadn't been divulged to Colonel Haley. Like, she did not know about that when Alex approached her. So that's when Alex knew. Okay, this is some really shady stuff, because it goes without saying that Haley has expressed a disdain for aliens and a disdain for aliens working in the government before. So the fact that she doesn't know about a government project to take down alien aircraft, that is a big no-no. Like, if she doesn't know, then this is some super shady stuff. And also just the president's kind of insistence that this is what's needed for America right now, this is for America's protection, and it's to protect all, it goes. I don't know if he mentioned it, but regardless, it goes without saying that what he meant was it's to protect all of America's human citizens. So if it hurts alien citizens living peacefully in America, then so be it. But it's to protect all of human citizens. So it initially worked to launch a satellite that would track any alien aircraft entering Earth's orbit and/or Earth's atmosphere, and then shoot them down on sight. So that can work both ways, good and bad. If it's a bad one, then you're taking out the threat before it can reach the atmosphere and before it can reach the people of Earth. But not all aircraft is bad. Like Kara's was not bad. Hers was just a simple pod being brought down to Earth, or crashing down to Earth. And she was rescued by Clark, a much older, present-day looking Clark. But you know, like it's like not the way to go. You don't just shoot down 10 suspicious-looking aircraft when there could be like 5 good ones and good innocent ones just looking to escape whatever they're escaping from and actually coming to Earth looking for safe refuge. Like that's not how it works. And it sounded dodgy from the get-go. So you know, it's understandable that there was a kind of dilemma with this for Kara, as she told Alex, like, you know, if she shoots it down, she might just be sending the same message as the Elite, like saying, you know, you try and hurt aliens, we're going to try and hurt you right back. But then if she doesn't, not only will innocent aliens potentially die, but it would also seem like she's kind of divulging, or like she's following the same kind of mindset of the Children of Liberty. Like, she maybe agrees that, oh, aliens should be shot down or something, which for her character it wouldn't really make much sense. It would raise more questions than answers. Like, she's an alien, she's been spending all this time fighting the aliens, the Children of Liberty, and fighting that kind of oppression, but now she's letting alien aircraft be shot out of the sky. Like, that doesn't sound like Supergirl. Like, that, I feel like that would be the general kind of reaction from the public. But you know, I personally think it is a good thing she shot that thing down, because again, it raises more like security questions than answers, and because again, you know, so far they had besides from the main characters we see in the show, we haven't really seen many kind of many humans that are actually not supportive. Wait, does that mean? Besides from the main characters in the show, the main human characters in the show, we haven't seen any other humans who are not supportive of the alien, who are supportive of the aliens. We haven't seen them, but you know, like they've been kind of showcasing the general public as scared and afraid, and only like a portion of that, big portion perhaps, but only a portion of them have actually turned that fear into hatred and into actual oppression, saying, you know, like, these aliens are scaring us, so the solution is to take out the aliens. Like, we've seen more of those, but I'm willing to bet there are plenty of humans out there who feel like, you know, we're scared of them because we don't understand them, so let's make an effort to understand them. Like, I'm willing to bet there are humans out there in National City like that. We haven't seen many of them because they might just be afraid to speak up against people like the Children of Liberty. But I'm willing to bet there are humans out there like that. So, you know, even they would disagree with this. Like, you know, sure, we don't understand them, and, you know, like, they're making some people scared, but that doesn't mean we should just kill them or get rid of them. But, you know, I think it's also a good, like, mentally, it's a good kind of approach that Kara went with as well. Like, she's doing what she thought was right, and, like, you know, surely, like, sure, it goes without saying that she didn't like it. She didn't like the idea of that satellite under that kind of name and under those kind of motivations going up. Like, she did not agree with the satellite being used to track down alien aircraft entering Earth's orbit and taking them out upon sight without understanding what their motivations were. Like, if it had it been something that was launched before she came to Earth, she would have been shot down, and she was just an innocent girl looking for a new home and being tasked with protecting her cousin, which she didn't find out was actually kind of redundant until she actually came here. But, you know, it takes out too many innocent aliens at the expense of taking out, like, all the potentially bad and, like, all the potential alien threats that could come to Earth. Like, it takes too many risks for the sake of security and safety, and that's just not right. It's not right. So I'm glad that they actually kind of addressed it in that kind of a manner. Like, you know, like, taking out the threats, even if that means taking out the good ones. Like, that's not the right way to actually approach something like that. And Supergirl is, you know, like, evidently Supergirl is the first line of defense should an alien attack come to Earth, which it has before, but she has always been the first line of defense. She has always been willing and ready to help people, to help the people of Earth whenever that kind of a threat has come. And sure, there has been collateral damage, but, you know, that's not to say that there won't be collateral damage when you shoot random alien, like, aircraft out of the sky. Like, that doesn't just stay floating out in space. Sooner or later, it does reach the Earth's atmosphere and then come crashing down. Unless they manage to figure out something for that as well. But, you know, knowing them, they may well have gone the extra mile. But yeah, so I think so Operation Claymore I think has been shut down now. They don't have another satellite to actually put up. And I think he did say something like, not only did you actually go against our orders and take out something we wanted to put up, but also that satellite cost like $5 million or something like that. So it's amazing how much money actually matters to them when they're doing something like when they're using it to kill things, to kill people. It's amazing how much money actually matters to them then. Whereas Supergirl does it essentially for free. So they want to kill people for money, but they don't want to have a living, breathing alien that lives and breathes to protect to protect them for free. So yeah, that one is that. And last but not least, so Ben Lockwood has been pardoned as the director of Alien Affairs. So I don't know entirely what that means. Like I don't know if it means that because I think when I think Alien Affairs, I instantly think of the DEO, because they are pretty much the department on Earth in charge of monitoring, tackling, and resolving alien threats and any kind of alien activity on Earth. So when I think of like him being director of Alien Affairs, I don't know if that's like a much more tightly knit and closer position to the government, or like a closer position like within the government actually handling alien affairs or what. But knowing him, it's just going to be like a lot more of him using his political stance to enforce the motives and the agendas and the the ideals of the Children of Liberty. And like being like having a much better shot initially of actually tackling alien threats in a much less friendly way, and actually being like, now we have the power to stomp out the alien threat in National City and in the world, so let's stomp it out now. Which I'm not looking forward to at all, but he did. I think it was actually also interesting to see that there were some Children of Liberty that actually believed that nowadays all he does is actually walking around in a suit, drinking alcohol, and just using that kind of stance, but he's not actually doing any leading. Like when we first saw him, he was out, he had his mask on, he had his suit on, he was actually throwing all those hate speeches, getting people riled up, and he was killing people, doing all that stuff, and that's when people actually started to band together and follow him as the Children of Liberty. But now, since getting out of prison, and especially since his identity's been revealed as Agent Liberty, he's been doing a lot less of that. So I think on the one hand, that again, like as on this side, you can see how that means that just means that he's kind of protecting his family by not doing anything rash, and kind of biding his time until he comes up with a good plan of what to do. But on the Children of Liberty's mind, it probably just means that because he's been unmasked now, he's probably just scared and he probably doesn't know what to do, and he's not really much of a leader anymore. But he did prove otherwise when he smashed that dude's face in with the Agent Liberty mask, and proved, yeah, so I'm a leader again. If anyone's got anything to say, you can either meet the mask or you can meet the door. But yeah, so he's back in the mantle now, I assume, with being an Agent of Liberty. Or being Agent Liberty, not an Agent of Liberty. But yeah, I think in the last episode, he was actually using his son Ben as a kind of mascot for the Children of Liberty, and having him do stuff. But now I think that's been called off the hook since he's been released from prison, and now being the director of Alien Affairs, he now has a stronger political position, and he can use that to his advantage. So I can only imagine what kind of horrors he has planned up his sleeve in future episodes for National City and for the aliens of National City. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have. Is there anything else? It's good to see. It's definitely good to see Kara and Supergirl. Alex and Supergirl on better terms now, because I think when they started off, Alex was strictly professional. Kara said, good work, Alex. Good working with you, Alex. And she was like, hey, it's Agent Danvers, okay, or Director Danvers. It's not Alex. We don't know each other like that. We have to remain professional. And I remember reading. I don't know if it has happened, because again, in the midst of this, I mean, I haven't spent so much time on I've spent more time on Twitter, not as much time on Tumblr for obvious reasons. I feel like it's much easier to run into spoilers on Tumblr than it is on Twitter. But even then, having spent like almost every other day on Twitter, I've been amazed that I haven't run into any spoilers. Because again, by this time, I think the season has come or is about to come to an end, I think, of Supergirl, and I'm only just on episode 13, so I am playing catch up with a lot of stuff here. But I haven't run into any spoilers. I'm not even joking. I'm not lying. I'm not joking. I have not run into any spoilers of what's happened. I haven't really seen much, and I'm not complaining, but I'm just surprised that I spend that much time on social media and nothing's really come up. Although on Twitter I have done that whole kind of word blocking thing, but that was only around the time of Endgame. So yeah, but then I did take up the opportunity to actually block CW, DC related words as well. So maybe that's why. But I remember back when, I think it was when this episode aired, was like before like episode 15, I think, there were posts from people saying like, you know, like, how did the writers think that mind wiping Alex's mind would actually work? Like, what if she just, like, what if being the romantic lesbian that she is, what if she just ends up having a crush on Supergirl? Like, that would be the most awkward thing. That really would. And I honestly just couldn't clear my mind of that. Like, oh god, okay, as much as I want Alex to find love again, not like that. That is not the way I want her to find love again. Leave that to the fan fiction side of the show. Leave that to the Tumblr side of the show. You know, they can come up with their own stuff, but just don't make that stuff canon. But yeah, it is. I just got reminded of that when she was doing the mind wipe thing. But yeah, now they are on much better terms, and you know, like Alex did come out to actually work with Supergirl, and they are on much better terms, especially. And they had that little chat in her apartment as well about Project Claymore and working together. So I'm glad they're on much better terms now. Still remaining professional, but there's a much less hostility between them, like we saw in the last episode, in episode 11 as well. Much less hostility between them. But yeah, that is definitely it from this episode. That's as much as I've got. So yeah, that was Supergirl Season 4, Episode 13, titled What's So Funny About Truth, Justice and the American Way. A lot, according to the Elite. A lot. But yeah, that is it for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching this. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think of the Elite and what you think is coming up next for the Super family. And yeah, that's it. So I will see you guys next time.